Buy2wayradios.com. Check, check. Buy2wayradios.com.
It's the Two-Way Radio Show.
And welcome to the Two-Way Radio Show. I'm Rick Savoya.
And I'm Danny Feemster.
And this is the podcast about two-way radios for business and consumer communications. Today we talk about Baofeng radios and check out their new DMR handheld model. We'll also take some of your comments and questions from our blog and our forum at twowayradioforum.com. Our show is sponsored by twowwayradios.com, the source of two-way radios and radio accessories for businesses and consumers since 2002. Twowwayradios.com, your radio specialists. 12 years ago, we discovered the original Baofeng UV5R. While we weren't the first to carry the radio, we were fairly early adopters of what many consider to be the most iconic and most popular walkie-talkie in the world. Since then, Baofeng has introduced a number of different and interesting radios, and many at a very modest price. They recently introduced a new model that looks and feels high-end and at a very low cost. And it's DMR.
We're mainly talking today about the new Baofeng DM-32UV, which is a surprisingly high quality feeling radio for Baofeng, I would say. Wouldn't you agree, Rick?
I'm really impressed with this radio, how it looks, how it feels. It doesn't really, it definitely doesn't look like a UV5R, that's for sure. And it really looks more like, say, maybe one of those high-end Motorola XPR radios, or a P25 radio or something. It really looks that part.
Yeah, I saw a spec sheet on this radio, I would say 6 to 8 weeks ago, which is a very new model, and it kind of got me off the couch with Baofeng again. We haven't carried Baofeng in a long time, and it's kind of like, oh wow, this radio looks like they're bringing something. Mm-hmm. So we decided to try out a sample, and we like that. So here we are. We're back with Baofeng. We have the DM-32, which we're super excited about, and we've added a few additional models of theirs to our website. So I guess we're back in the Baofeng business for now, which I'm excited about, especially the DM-32UV.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe we should step back just a little bit and start from square one on Baofeng to begin with, because there may be someone out there who doesn't really know what or who Baofeng is. And especially if you're new to two-way radios and you're just learning some of the makes and models, what is a Baofeng radio? Who is Baofeng?
Well, I personally don't know the full backstory on Baofeng. We've dealt with Baofeng. We buy direct from Baofeng now, and we did in the past. But I guess I don't know, like company history and things. I looked it up, and I do believe that they are, if you look at unit volume, the largest radio manufacturer in the world. Mm-hmm. From what I see online, and I don't know how true this is, 10 to 14 million radios manufactured a year. When you look at manufacturers of Chinese imports, a lot of those radios are made by Baofeng. And they make a lot of radios that are private labeled for other companies under other brands. So they are absolutely huge in the radio world. Chinese radios are overwhelmingly Baofeng, in my opinion.
Well, for a little backstory on Baofeng, the company, known as Fujian Baofeng Electronics Company Limited, this is a radio manufacturer based in the Fujian province in China. And the company was founded in 2001. And according to their website, they started off with about 30 employees. And today they have over 1,000. And they have a production base covering an area of more than 30,000 square meters. I haven't done the math on that, meters to feet, but it sounds like a lot of area. In 2011, they introduced what is now the legendary Baofeng UV5R dual-band handheld transceiver, one of which I have right here, as a matter of fact, in my hand, the Baofeng UV5R. And they introduced it in 2011, but they received the FCC approval in May 2012. And so they began to sell it in the U.S. So it was really introduced into the U.S. officially as an FCC approved radio in 2012. And it quickly became one of the fastest selling and most popular handheld amateur radios in the world. And, well, obviously, probably because of the price, because it was very, very low priced. It was priced to move, that's for sure. And this radio, it's very versatile. It has a lot of features, and it's just extremely inexpensive. I think that's its strongest suit right there. Now, our history with Baofeng begins not long after that. We began carrying the original Baofeng UV5R in June of 2013. That was about a year after it was introduced to the U.S. Now, while we weren't the first carrier of the radio, we were there fairly early. We got in on it fairly early, and in fact, we've made a lot of contributions to the support of it in the marketplace. If you go to our website, we have a lot of blog articles, a lot of support articles, a lot of how-tos and things on the UV5R, and we have videos on it out there. And I think we can take pride in the fact that we did develop a lot of content on it in the early years. Our articles are some of the most popularly accessed support resources on our site at by2wayradios.com. And our videos, we still get a lot of views on our YouTube channel for our UV5R videos and a lot of comments. So we do have a long history with Baofeng. So, we go pretty far back.
All of that content. I mean, the radio, we looked at this shipment where we're now carrying the UV5R again, and the radio hasn't changed a lot.
I don't think it's changed much at all.
I think the firmware has been updated, but I don't know. I didn't notice right off anything majorly different on the radio versus the one that we carried previously. So I believe all of our content still applies. And I think that makes sense because we still get a lot of views on that content. Like you were saying, we get comments on the content, and people seem to find it useful.
Now, at first, I think Baofeng was really just sort of capitalizing on that model. So there was a long period of time where a lot of the other models in the Baofeng line were basically just variations of the UV5R. The same basic functions and features. They make a few changes here and there, but they were some of them cosmetic, some of them internal. But for the most part, it was still a UV5R. For example, the UV5RA, UV5R Plus, the UVF8, BFF8, BFF9, and GT3. Some of these we've carried on our site in years past. They were all variations of the same basic UV5R radio. But over the years, that's changed. And today, Baofeng has expanded their line to include models that are very different from the original, and some of them are rather unique, like the one we're going to talk about here, this DM-32UV.
Yeah, I guess let's start going through the DM-32UV somewhat, Rick, and then maybe we'll after that we'll talk briefly about the other few models that we're carrying now. What do you think?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. I'll let you start.
Well, let's start with the highlights on the DM32. 10 watts of power, which is about as high of a power rating on a handheld radio as I would feel comfortable going with. So 10 watts of power, that's great. Now we haven't did a power check on the radio, so I don't know if it's actually going to put out 10 watts on.
Let's say up to 10. Let's say up to 10 watts.
Yeah, it's probably in the 7 to 10 range. I would say based on what frequency you're on. That'd be my guess, based on what I've seen before. But it is dual band. It UHF, VHF, covers the ham bands. This radio is approved for business use by the FCC, so there's a Part 90 FCC ID. But we're primarily going to market it as an amateur radio because that seems to be where the interest is online, at least from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I have one right here.
Legally for business as well.
I have one right here.
It is like a large radio, larger. Feels like some other radios that I've seen.
It feels pretty solid, and it is reminiscent, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show. This is somewhat reminiscent of some Motorola models. I think.
I think that it was inspired by some Motorola models.
But here, I've got the startup.
4.
And it sounds like an English-speaking person on this one, I think.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Liftoff.
Very nice voice. Very easy to understand.
Yeah. So
I like the screen on it too. The screen looks great. It's a nice screen. It's a full color screen, which sometimes isn't great for outdoor visibility, but the brightness seemed pretty good to me. What did you think?
Yeah.
I know we just got these in a couple of days ago. I haven't had a chance to play with it in bright sunlight.
I'm still messing around with it. I haven't really looked at it in full sun at all, so I really couldn't say fairly. We'll probably do a lot more testing with this, both in and outdoors. I do think that it's a very sharp looking screen, at least here indoors, and I like the overall look and feel. The menu. There's a menu on. The menu is nice. It's small for me. My eyesight and everything. It's a little on the small side compared to some of the Ocean models that we sell, but it's still really nice. Pretty sharp, nice. I like it.
There is a wide receive range on this radio. It will transmit, like we mentioned, on UHF and VHF, but it will receive. Let's see, on UHF, VHF, NOAA bands. It will do AM. So I believe it will receive the weather band. I mean, not the weather. It will receive the air band transmissions as well at 108 to 135, I believe. Yeah,
that area, I believe so. I'm not looking at specs
on
right
AM,
now,
so
but
you can do aviation on this, but the DMR is, I think, what a lot of people are going to be interested in. It has GPS built in, and it will do APRS, which a lot of the ham guys are going to love.
Now, this iteration here with GPS, looking at the menu, I think it says GNSS, which is a form of, it's like a GPS type system. It's more of a universal, was it GNSS, what they call it. And so it supports several different types of positioning satellite systems, including GPS, I believe.
So it probably uses the Chinese satellites for coordinates, which wouldn't surprise me.
It may support the European ones and that as well, who several of them out there.
Okay.
And as well as GPS, from what I understand. That's I haven't really tested it fully, But we just got these things. We're still going through them. But it seems to be rather versatile in that area.
There's a lot of onboard memory. It will store 50,000 DMR contacts.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't get the entire contact database on there of ham users, but 50,000 will give you a large chunk.
That's a lot. I mean, 50,000 is a lot. I
really wish it would hold the entire database, though. That would make it so much easier to just be able to throw everything on there and not have to pick and choose what areas you're loading contacts for. But
I'll be straight up with you here. I'm not dissing anyone for saying, hey, I need 50,000 contacts on my DMR radio or else. I'm just saying, see, I'm not really a DMR kind of person. I'm more of an analog guy. So to me, I think of things in terms of analog radios. It's like having, 10,000 channels. I personally don't need 10,000 channels on a radio, but I guess there's some people out there that are, some people that use them. I'm not knocking it. DMR, dabbled in a little bit, but it's not
the
really
contacts. The contact benefit is if you load the entire database on there, whenever you receive a transmission from someone, it has their contact ID and it will show you on the screen who is calling. So that that's the benefit. Like if you could throw the entire database into the radio, then it would just have all the call signs for everyone in the digital database built right onto the radio. And no matter, you don't have to worry about, well, I'm going over here. I need to load the contacts for California because I'm doing a trip. Whereas for us, we might need to load, it may only have enough memory to load the Southeast, for example.
Oh, okay. Well, the thing is, though, I just can't imagine having, knowing, I don't know 50,000 people out there on the radio. So I don't know.
The beauty is you don't have to go in and just load the people that you know. You just get the whole database and throw it on the radio. And then the radio has everyone in the world, and everyone that you know is just in the list because they're in the world too.
It's like having an international phone book right on your radio.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. That makes sense.
The website, I believe, to download the database allows you to choose the states that you want to download the list from. So you'll have to choose 5 or 6 states to make sure your list is under 50,000 when you're loading them into the software.
I
think our TYT will load a lot.
100,000, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Something
I don't
like
remember.
that.
It's a massive number.
Yeah.
I think they increased it so that it would hold the entire database.
Yeah. Yeah. I do see where there could be some use for it for the DMR users. For me, not really. The DMR isn't really exactly my wheelhouse. As I said, I'm more of an analog
DMR,
person. So yeah, I guess not. But for those who use it, there it is.
Moving along, other features are this radio does digital voice recording. So
that's kind of a nice handy feature.
10 hours of audio can be stored on the radio. So that's another purpose that they're using onboard storage for contacts, using onboard storage for the audio, and 10 hours of audio is a pretty significant amount of storage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wouldn't you say? What do you think they have?
Yeah, I think so. I guess I could.
A few gigs of storage, a couple gig SD card in there somewhere.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of storage space. But
I would think 10 hours of audio takes a good bit of storage. It has a USB charging port, USB-C charging support capability, but it also includes a slot drop-in desktop charger.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something you're not seeing so much lately. It seems like with newer radios, they're going more towards USB-C only, and you don't get the desktop charger anymore. But this radio does include that. One thing I didn't really like about this radio right off was that it doesn't have a belt clip on the radio itself.
Yeah, but it has this. It has.
Yeah, they give you a separate holster for the radio, and the
holster.
belt clip is on the holster. So some people are going to like that. Some people may not like that.
I'm really neither here nor there with the holster. Although it's a nice holster. You know, you just slip it on your belt, the radio slips right in, and there you go, and pull it. I think to get it out, you kind of have to either push it from the bottom, or I wouldn't suggest grabbing it from the antenna, but that's how I've been doing it so far. So, you know, but kids don't try this at home. You know,
the holster, I think
it's nice.
I can go back and forth on the holster. The holster does make it easier to get the radio off your belt. It's quicker and easier to pull that radio out if it's in a holster. But you've got a holster stuck to you all the time. So
I've had mixed results with having a holster on my hip, and I've had holsters on my hip before, not just for radios, but also for cell phones and things like that. And they do come in handy. There are certain times when they just pop it on or pop it off, put it back on. It's pretty cool. And then there are other times when having the holster there, especially if it's just an empty holster, kind of gets in the way a little bit, and you wind up knocking into stuff or getting caught on stuff. It just, I think it kind of depends.
Yeah, I can go back and forth on it. I definitely see the advantages, and I can see how it would be a disadvantage. Something else you have to keep up with. If you forget to bring your holster, now you're dealing with how do I carry this radio
this
all
thing
day
everywhere. Yeah.
So it does add some convenience, though. If you're wearing it on your belt all the time, it is quicker and easier to get that thing out if you don't have to worry about, my belt clip's getting stuck. And
Yeah. You just have to remember you have it on your side, so you're not, because I could see this at times when you don't have because you got holes in here, and I could see it getting caught on stuff if you just got an empty holster sitting there. That might not be a good idea, but just keep your radio in the holster then. There you go.
The screen is very large on this radio. It says it's a 2-inch screen, which is, I think, the biggest screen I've seen on a Baofeng radio. It's more vertically oriented, so it's taller than it is wide.
I think it's 2 inches vertical. It doesn't look 2 inches wide. It looks maybe
it's probably 2 inches corner to corner, I would think.
Oh, you think so? They're looking at it horizontal, like measuring it like you would measure in a display, like a.
I would guess. Like that's usually
like a
how
TV
the
or
dimensions.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's pretty nice. I'll tell you what, though, I do like the look and feel of it, and I think I'm going to spend a little time playing around with it later on after the show, next couple of days, and seeing what its performance is like, because it isn't just, and I said that I'm not really a DMR person, but this isn't just DMR. It does DMR and analog, and it can do a hybrid. I don't think we mentioned that, did we?
The capabilities on this radio, spec sheet wise at least, are amazing for the price specifically. I mean, this thing's like $90, and it's very well built. It's a pretty good user interface. The display looks great. It's packed with features. It has storage, voice recording, APRS, GPS, customizable display, customizable text colors.
This radio is just chock full of stuff.
Pretty impressive, I got to say. You want to move on and shall we talk about a couple of the other models?
You didn't mention the price, right?
I believe. I don't think our price is completely set on this one yet. It's going to be somewhere around $90.
Yeah, but let's face it. At around $90, even $100, you can't really touch this. You know what I'm saying? Price wise, it's that's pretty amazing to have all of this in a radio for that kind of a price.
This radio is what got us off the couch with Baofeng. I'm telling you, back in June, I got an email from my sales rep over there. They've been emailing me for years, even though we haven't bought anything and we haven't carried their radios. But I saw this and I'm like, oh goodness, they're bringing it. We got to give them a shot. So We've been waiting for, 6-8 weeks on the boat to arrive with these, and I'm super excited about this one. I think everyone's going to love it.
Yeah, I think so too. These things will not last long in the warehouse. I'll tell you that much. They'll be flying off the shelf for sure.
Well, moving on to some of the other models, we have this one I'm also very excited about. This is another where I'm looking at the list of models when we're putting the order together, deciding, okay, we're not just going to bring in the DM-32. We'll get a few other radios at the same time. And this UV9G just the official model. It's
right here.
I think the FCC sticker on there says UV28 only, but it's UV28M, which is a triband radio. It's also kind of a large, solid feeling radio. Not a lot of bells and whistles on this model, but the raw features list is a triband radio that will transmit on 220, on 2 meter, and 70 centimeter.
Mm-hmm.
Ham frequencies can be marketed for ham as a 10-watt radio, quote unquote, a 10-watt radio.
Up to 10 watts.
Up to 10 watts. If it's 7, 8, wouldn't surprise me, but advertised as a 10-watt radio. Nice screen. It's full color display.
Welcome. Channel mode.
There you go. It's the full color display. Tommy will get us a closer shot of this for the video.
But this thing for a 10-watt triband analog radio is like $35 retail.
This is unbelievable. $35 for a radio that looks like this.
$5.
It's I mean, we're talking what, $10 more than a UV5R? And look at this. You got the UV5R,
and it's got the USB-C charging.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want GPS or Bluetooth and all that, you just want an analog radio that will transmit everywhere. Like you can't go wrong for $35 on the UV28M. I'll tell you that. It's got a nice color screen, multiple area, dual area screen.
Look at this. $25 or under $25, $35. I mean, you get a lot more for just $10 extra. Yeah,
I'd do it for the USB-C charging capability.
Yeah, that's one thing the UV5R still doesn't have, and this has it. Oh, wait, let me show you that. It's not just USB charging, but it has some waterproofing on it as well. So it has this little cover to keep it.
Yeah. Now, hardware-wise, I don't think this is a waterproof. It's not submersible waterproof, right?
No, I don't think so. And I didn't bring my official fish tank up here to dunk it in and see how it worked during the show. We should try that sometime, though. Take a few of these and have a fish tank up here on the show and just dunk them in and see what happens.
even the ones that aren't waterproof, just
why not? It'll be fun.
They are.
It'll be fun. You'll see
the UV5R in the fish tank and see if it smokes. So see how long before it smokes.
We'll just take the fish out first, just in case.
It's your choice on whether the fish stay in or not.
So I don't want to put the fish at risk. Anyway, where were we?
We were talking about that UV28M, and I am pretty impressed with that one.
Yeah, it's a nice
$35. I guess we can move on. The next model going down the list we have is the UV9G.
Yeah, this is more in line with what people are used to when they're thinking GMRS radios from Baofeng. This one's been out for a while. It's not new that I know of.
Right. But this one is also a sturdy feeling, fully waterproof radio with an outdoor friendly display. It's not one of the full color screens, but the display is, this is a display that's great for indoor and outdoor. It's the UV5R type display.
Yeah, it's more like the UV5R.
You can read it outside.
Yeah.
This model has been around for a while. It's gotten great reviews. It's a very popular GMRS model. It's fully FCC type accepted for GMRS use. So basically, full featured GMRS radio for what's that one, Rick? $40?
Is that what it is? $40.
You can drop that one in a lake, and they say it's going to survive.
They say. Now, who's this they? That's what I always wonder. Who's this they? Everybody says
we haven't tried the fish tank.
Who is this they that we're always talking about? That they're always talking about. I don't know.
The fine folks at Baofeng. That's who we're talking about. They say, and I quote, "You can drop this in the ocean and it'll be fine." I'm just kidding. They didn't say that.
No, nobody said
that. They say, let me see. Specifically, they say IP67.
This is IP67.
IP67. So that is, if memory serves me correctly, IP67 is 1 meter of water for 30 minutes.
I'm going to have to find me a 1 meter deep fish tank, I guess.
And no, this is actually a $33 radio.
$33. And for just a couple of dollars more, you can get this thing, But unless you want IP67, that's worth it, right? Because
unless you want GMRS, where the one.
No, that's right. This is a ham radio here. This isn't GMRS. This is GMRS radio. Okay, and then we got what else we got here? We got a couple more here. Well, I think we know what these are.
Let's go next. We're sticking with GMRS. We're going to go to the UV9G.
Oh.
This, I believe, was Baofeng's first official GMRS radio, which I'm pretty sure is just a UV5R that's been approved at the FCC for GMRS.
A UV5R in sheep's clothing.
Yeah. If you love the UV5R, and there is a lot of people who love the UV5R, this is the GMRS legal version of the UV5R.
Yeah, I hesitate to say this, but there are a lot of people that love GMRS that use a UV5R and have used a UV5R for GMRS. Now, I'm not saying who. You know who you are.
And the FCC is coming for you. Just
kidding. So I heard a lot of times. But the thing is that here now you've got a legal version of it. And so this isn't that much more than this. I think it's pretty close to the same price, actually.
I think it's like $25, whereas the UV5R is maybe $22, $23.
23, something like that. So close. For a few dollars more, you get to be legal. And it's basically the same radio, just for GMRS, right? And then, of course, we have, last but not least, certainly not least, the iconic UV5R. Look at that. These two look, I'm telling you, they're identical. Yeah.
I don't know how they've done it, but they've actually, the price is lower on the UV5R than it used to be. And these things, seems like they were like $30 last time we sold them. And now they're like 22.
They probably sold so many of them over the years, they don't really care about the price. Like, just,
they have sold a lot of them over the years. I promise you that.
Yeah. So there you go. There are some of the Baofeng radios that are available. And if you didn't know who or what Baofeng was before, you certainly do now. What
kind of feedback do you think we're going to get on this episode, Rick? I'm predicting most feedback are people that are going to say, "Why are you selling Baofeng again? These radios are garbage." don't do it. And then, then we'll get some that are like, oh, great.
No, my answer to that, and I've had this in my head for a while, is that for those who like Baofeng and they don't care and they love them, there's a contingency of people out there that are just huge Baofeng fans, always have been, always will be, and then you have that other army of users that say Baofeng cheap Chinese junk and yada yada yada, and I wouldn't be I wouldn't have a Baofeng because it's a little throwaway radio. Well, so what? I mean, the thing is, I'll bet that a lot of these people that are saying these Baofeng UV5Rs are cheap Chinese junk and I wouldn't be caught dead with one, I'll bet that they probably have about 5 or 6 in their closet, at least. And I bet they are closet Baofeng freaks. And
somebody's buying these radios, I tell you that.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, they can't be selling how many millions of radios a year? You said
10 to 14 was the estimate.
Yeah, they can't be selling them to people, and that somebody's buying them. Yeah, and it's probably. Some of them are probably going to the same people that are saying I wouldn't buy a Baofeng if my life depended on it.
For years.
We've
been saying this for years. There's a place for these radios. Are these the highest quality radio? If you are, a ham extra, and you're going to be sitting in the ham shack a couple hours every day, and these aren't the radios for you. You're not going to be happy with these radios. But I don't know if you've got somebody that just needs a radio for occasional use, or maybe they're just getting into the hobby and they want to see if it's right for them without spending a lot of money. Start with this. They pack a lot of features in a very little amount of money.
And you know what? For some of the hams, I know there are some hams that buy these things just to play around with and just to experiment on. And because they can do it, they can have their own little project. And that's one of the cool things about amateur radio is that you can, it's all about experimentation, right? So you can buy these radios. You don't want to spend $200 or $300 or more on a really nice radio to tear it, do a tear down on it and mess around with it. And, it's a lot of money, but you can take one of these, $20, $25 or whatever, and you can just experiment to your heart's delight. And, if you break it, no big deal, just toss it and go get another one or move on to something else. But, this is a great radio to experiment with. And for new hams, especially if you're a new ham that you're getting your first radio and you don't have a lot of money to spend and you're worried about messing things up. Because I know when I was a new ham, when I first started, I was like, I can buy a radio, but what if I mess it up? What if I ruin it or break it or whatever? It's like you can buy 2 or 3 of these and you don't care. It's not a big deal.
One thing I've learned is that hams love to talk about ham. Mm-hmm. They like to bring new people into the hobby. Mm-hmm. So what I've seen a lot of times is hams will have some UV5Rs on the shelf. And when they get someone on the hook that's interested in ham radio, they'll say, here, take this radio, listen, see what you think, play around with it. No, I don't need that radio back. You can have it.
Yeah.
I've seen that more times than I can count, Rick.
No, that's true. That's true. I'm only laughing because I remember my first radio. As a matter of fact, it was a UV5R.
Did someone say, "Here, take this. You don't need to return"?
Yeah, actually, I think they did. And I had a couple of these, and one of them I must confess, I took apart completely, and we used it in a video. We used it in, as a matter of fact, if I can say this, when we launched the Ocean S88G, the original one, and I made that video that was like a movie trailer. That was the whole intent, was to make it look like a movie trailer. And there was a shot in there of the S88G looking down, on this busted up radio. And that was one of my Baofengs. I'd basically taken it apart and strewn across the floor.
a UV5R gave its life for your S88G
it
trailer
did.
video?
It did. There's a little trivia there for you. But so they're great little radios for the right project, the right function.
I think
they're perfect.
That we will sell these. People are going to buy these. I mean, last time we sold Baofeng, we couldn't keep them in stock. I mean,
no, that's true.
Really, I mean, you don't make a lot of money selling $22 radios. I will admit.
No,
but
we didn't get very many back. As a matter of fact, we got very few back. It's as far as the radios now we did do a lot of support for them. We had to support them a lot, but as far as returns and exchanges and stuff, hardly any.
Right. They were one of our lowest return items, which we were a little apprehensive about bringing them in to begin with. I recall, because we were thinking, oh, what if people aren't happy with this? And we end up with a lot that come back. But
no. I think the only complaints that we ever really had with it were about trying to figure out how to use it. And because in the early days, it was kind of it seemed complicated to people who weren't that familiar with programming radios. But over time, and with the introduction of a lot of different tools for, Chirp is one big one for programming these radios and learning how to use them. And that changed. I think over time people realized, this isn't really so tough to deal with. And here we are. So we've got all kinds of radios that are, some of them are very difficult to program these days. And compared to them, I don't think this one's too bad at all, really.
No, I think everyone kind of copied how the UV5R works as far as programming through the radio itself. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of, if you've used other radios, they're probably based somewhat on how the UV5R work.
Yeah. All right. Well, there are the Baofengs, and any other thoughts or comments?
Not from me, but I do expect some thoughts from our listeners on this episode.
Yep. Send in your comments and questions about the Baofeng radios to show@buy2wayradios.com, or give us a call. Give us a call weekdays at buy2wayradios.com, 1-800-584-1445. And we have the live chat too.
If you have any complaints about the radios, ask for Anthony.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll enjoy that. All right. Well, we have some comments and questions from our blog and our forum at twowayradioforum.com. And they're pretty much all about the Ocean KG915G and the 905G Plus. And this was what we covered in our last episode, episode 204 of the Two-Way Radio Show. We were introducing those two Ocean radios. And our first one comes from, let me pull that one up here. Oh, our first one comes from Kurt. And Kurt wants to know, what is the IP rating? That's from Kurt. And Kurt, that's an easy one right there. Both of those radios, the 905G Plus and the 915G, are rated IP66. So what that means is, they're pretty tough out in the field for ingress from protection from ingress from dust and water, but they're not submersible. But you can get water on them, that sort of thing. You can drop them in a puddle, they'll be okay, but I wouldn't submerge them. That would be an IP67 radio. But these are pretty tough radios. So
IP66 is basically, if you're outside, any type of heavy rain, storm is just fine. You leave it outside in the rain, it should be just fine.
This next one comes from Dale. And Dale wants to know, is there any possibility of getting either or both models in MERS version? I really like this form factor and would like to have radios that share the same battery type. And that's from Dale. You know, Dale, that's a very good question. I would kind of like to see that too sometime, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Any thoughts on that, Danny?
We can suggest it. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. All right, and this next one is a separate comment also from Dale, and Dale says, having the USB-C charging port on the battery is great. This way you can charge a spare battery without needing to have the USB charging cord connected to the radio that you're using. I know that you can charge a spare battery in the cradle, but that is an extra thing to take with you in the field. And that's from Dale. And yeah,
I kind of agree. I love the USB-C charging ports right on the battery. I think there's some advantages as well to having it on the radio, but probably better to have it on the battery if you ask me.
I'm just glad to see USB charging capability out there. Really.
It's fantastic to have some type of universal charging that hopefully everything is going to.
Mm-hmm. It makes things a lot easier.
You know how many of those little AC adapters with the barrel plugs I have all over the place, and they're all different voltages and different sizes, and it's just annoying to keep up with that.
Yeah.
Everything should go USB-C.
I agree. And our last one comes from Sean, our good friend Sean in the forums. And Sean says, they look like nice upgrades. I have had several 905Gs and they were close to bulletproof. After I moved up to the 935G, I gave my 905Gs to my son-in-law's grandfather to use on his acreage where cell phone coverage is sketchy at best. If I didn't already have a couple of S88Gs, I would look into the 915G. The Bluetooth on the S88G turned out to be a disappointment and not really a plus in my case. It might be an upgrade on a radio that can listen to more than UHF, and if you could use the push-to-talk while Bluetooth is connected. The larger screen on the 915G looks really nice. Thanks for the podcast, and that's from Sean.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think that the revamped display with the different colors as well really was the best part of the upgrade on the 905 series. That and the introduction of the 915. There's been, over the years, a lot of people have asked for a keyboard on the 905, and I've been surprised with the sales numbers. I kind of thought the no keyboard version would do the best by a long shot, and I think we've actually sold more of the keyboard version. Yeah,
but they're both really nice radios, and the fact that they're both really based on the original 905G to begin with, I think is a plus right there, because that's a really, really popular radio still. Well, I guess that does it for our comments and questions in this episode. Send in your comments and questions for Danny or myself to show@bytwowayradios.com. If you want to know more about today's topic or about two-way radios in general, check out our forum discussions at twowayradioforum.com. They're a friendly group, so feel free to join in. And it doesn't cost you anything. It's free. You can subscribe to the Two-Way Radio Show directly from our website at twowayradioshow.com, or here just about anywhere you can find a podcast, and you can subscribe by email. Click subscribe by email on the Two-Way Radio Show podcast page at twowayradioshow.com. Enter your email address, and you'll get the latest episode of the Two-Way Radio Show as soon as it's released. All right, Daniel, I guess it does it for our show. Any final comments?
Stop by our website, get your Baofeng, use promo code SHOW and save 5%.
Get them while they're hot.
If you even need a discount. I mean, these things are already so inexpensive.
Well, today's show is sponsored by BuyTwoWayRadios.com. Whether you're searching for two-way radios for general, consumer, or business use, Buy Two-Way Radios can help you find the best solution for your needs. Give us a call at 1-800-584-1445 or enter our live chat at BuyTwoWayRadios.com. Well, everyone, as always, thanks for listening, and until next time, for the Two-Way Radio Show, I'm Rick Savoya.
And I'm Danny Feemster.
And we're out.